Hey kids, Mark Miller here. I'm just checking to see if I dripped some water into my keyboard. Just took a sip as we were starting up. And I see little dots of water near the gaps between the keys. We'll see what happens. It's Mark Miller. You know, your local friendly superhero, virtual. Rory's with me. Rory, how you doing?
I am. I'm doing pretty well, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, I think I'm okay. I don't know, maybe a little discombobulated a bit, maybe just because of, a whole bunch of stuff happening coming up.
Okay.
I put a post out on the TaleSpire, no, not TaleSpire, out on Stack Exchange's our tabletop role-playing game piece, asking about what's going on with Wall of Water. Because Wall of Water is like insane in terms of its the difference between the regular one, which is like something like 30 feet long, if that's to scale, right? The regular wall is 30 feet right there. And then if you do it in a ring, it gets that big in terms of overall scale. So it's like this monster of a change, and it's simply an option. And so I was asking a question about it. And I got downvoted because I was asking about what's the intent, is this wrong? And they're like, you're bad and we hate your question. And they downvoted my question. So I'm like, really? So to be honest, I'm like, I'm a little bit, and part of it's too, I'll have to tell you, Rory, this has been my attitude all the time whenever I've been in a room full of people and they've all disagreed with me, is that the room is wrong. And
I just like the room to tell me what their problem is. Add a comment. Tell me how to correct this. Make it better. You don't like it. It's fine. I can fix it.
Yeah. Sounds like you're talking about Stack Overflow. Yeah, that's what I meant. Stack Exchange, Stack Overflow. But it was on, but anyway, Screenshot says, what are we breaking today? So anyway, I got downvoted for my question. And I'm thinking, all I've been thinking about is I'm going to create charts and graphs for these blank so-and-sos and to show the
Miller
whole
comes
thing.
back with epic presentation on the issue.
And half of me is saying, I guess the old man in me is saying, hey, just chill or just relax, let it go. Screetrat's with us. We're going to see Screetrat's fanfare as soon as somebody says something in the chat room like, yeah, like that. It's a cool fanfare. Look at that, coming in classic. Screetrat. So, I don't know. I'm a little bit like, and I didn't sleep, as much as I wanted to sleep last night. So I'm a little bit like that, whiny baby.
All right.
However, I got direction on where we're going to go today.
Oh, that's good.
Which is not bad because I really didn't have direction, as like in most days. I don't have direction. Coding Gorilla says, so is notorious for asshole commentary. Sorry, I read that word. Blank commentary. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I was just like, really? I feel like what I'm bringing up is actually super topical. And there's also another piece too, is that there was a similar question about the Wand of Frost. The Wand of Frost, I think, was able to cast another spell using only 4 charges instead of 6, and everybody was like, wait, why? Because every other spell requires the same number of spell charges as the spell level is, except for that. And there was actually an interview with the creator saying it was intentional because the Wand of Frost is really good at creating whatever that is, that spell. So there's already, it's already been addressed that no, it's not errata. I know it's not erotica. I'm not going to say that word, but the errata. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I think.
Errata, yeah.
So like corrections after the fact.
So that's already been, with that particular one. So I feel like I was asking the same question. So I've got to make a presentation. I'm going to go back and fight against it. And they closed the issue, and I'm just like, oh man.
That happened so quickly.
It did. I watched it happen, and I was like, wait. And then somebody would say, your math is wrong. It's only 600, cubic meters of water. And I went back and I go, no, it's actually 1,200 because they double the size. Not only when I go to a ring, do they make it like twice as long, but they double the size of the wall. They double the height of the wall for no reason that makes sense. So Wall of Water just seems to me like it's, and if the other thing is you've got precedent in like at least 4 other wall spell effects. I know anybody who's listening now who's like, what the F is Mark talking about? Why? He is a geek. Look at this guy. But you have precedent in at least 4 other spell effects that can do rings, and all of them have essentially the amount of difference between the cubic volume of wall for the line versus the ring is about maybe 10%, 5 to 10% difference. And all of a sudden you've got a 400% difference with Wall of Water.
Also, how you measure that, that's quite a big jump.
Yeah, also the ring itself is almost as long as what they give you for the regular length of it. Either the length is wrong, it's 30 feet, it should be 60, or the height is wrong of the ring, it should be just the same height, right? In other words, if I have a spell that can control 300 gallons of, or 300 cubic meters of water, and I can just flip a switch on it and also control 1,200 cubic meters,
exactly.
Why not always just flip the switch?
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. My brain is freaking out on the whole thing, and everybody else is like, Mark, don't ask questions. Don't ask questions on our board. Is kind of like, don't do that. Anyway, so that's my that's on my mind a little bit. I'm like, I've got a coin flipping in my head, and it keeps flipping. Do I let it go, or do I just go after it with intensity? But the good news is that yesterday, I think after you left, Rory, we got the ability to create a goat, and we figured out how to persist it on the board. That, by the way, was breakthrough because a number of other modders were trying to get this to work. Mm-hmm. And I checked in with them yesterday during the stream, and they came back and said, no, we don't have a solution yet. And I said, I'm working on it now. And so we ended up solving that. The solution was somewhere around, hold on, not here. The solution is board.essentially creature. The solution appeared to be in 2 places. This line of code here, record and build history, is incredibly important.
Yes, we discovered that just before I left. That was very useful. But it did not appear to work in and of itself. Therefore, you must have found something else to add to that.
Exactly. The second piece was I had to create a creature data v1 and pass it into creature data v2, because creature data v2 sets a read-only property called, a read-only field called is created, sets that to true.
Right.
And I can't set it to true any other way. That I found. So that's what we're talking about there. That was the big deal, the big secret there. So that now the other piece.
Not to scare you, but did you notice they've updated again overnight?
I have to go. You do it, Rory. It's all you.
They fixed a bunch of bugs apparently.
Well,
some stuff to do with deserialization, some stuff to do with unique creatures.
Well, we'll see.
Nothing that could possibly be to do with what we're doing.
I think we're okay so far. Creature ID. This is another piece that's kind of interesting.
Okay.
We discovered yesterday after you left that if we are to assign our own GUID, see the new GUID call right there?
Yeah.
To the creature ID, lo and behold, it works and it saves it. And when it comes back, it's got that same ID. Why is that important? Well, because if we don't, it builds its own later. So we're instantiating a creature and we don't know where it is or how to get to it.
Exactly. We need to have a common point of reference when we create it that we can later refer to. Otherwise, sure, it's there, but we can't grab it. Yeah.
Creates a new creature of the specified board asset ID at the specified position, and returns its creature ID as a string, like that. The board asset to create. the position to place the new asset. Okay, let's get that spelled correctly. All right. Fine, I'm just gonna fill out all the fields. What are you guys doing today? Everybody okay? Returns the creature ID as a string. Okay, cool, sweet. Now we got this killer creature ID as a string. So we got a CSE creature.
Yep.
So here's what we do next. I take that creature ID and I stick it in a list of strings. Right here, see it? Effects to initialize. Mm-hmm. Okay, yep. So basically the call is TaleSpire.persistentEffects.create. Now we don't have any additional parameters. We're going to add these at some point. Like I want to create a light. I want to create a pool of water. I want to create a teleporter or whatever it is. We'll add some parameters here, I think. Effects to initialize. Inside the update, we check to see if we got anything in there. If we do, we try to get the asset. Okay. If we do, we get that. Then we add to a second list internally, or well, it's actually a field, but we add it to an internal list, which we're going to clear at the end of the process. So we just say, hey, we found this one. We keep going
gathering
through this
them
loop.
up. Yeah.
After we're done, we're going to remove it here.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. If we find the asset, we go and we say spell as attach effect, creature set creature name, and we set the info on it. Now we're using Lord Ash's stat messaging plugin. I've refactored it a bit, but stat messaging, what it allows us to do, can I actually drill into this? Probably not from here. Yeah, we just get to this point. What it does very cleverly, it does two things. It stores additional information in the name of the mini. Lord Ashes discovered that you could store like at least, you did a test up to 4K and you could put 4K in there. We talked about this a little bit. It just sticks it on the end of the name. What it does, so if my mini name is like, Mark, like that, what it does is it throws this on and then all the custom data.
Okay.
This is a special command inside of Unity text editors that says everything to the right of this is going to be small. It's going to be a size 0, which means you won't see it. It'll still, I suppose, try to render it when you're showing the name. This actually, all the text will show up when you do a rename of the character, but the whole thing will be selected. And Lord Ash has added some code in there to check to see if all of a sudden we lose everything from a rename. If it loses, if we were previously tracking it, and we had data, and then all of a sudden this is gone, and that's gone, and it says, oh, you know what? I've got it in cache. I'm going to just add it because you just renamed it. So very, very cleverly, it does that, number one. Number two is it sends a message to everybody who's playing and updates their name as well. And if I've got a plugin loaded on those machines and I'm listening to a particular event, I get the event when the name changes. Okay?
Cool. Yeah.
It's nice. It's pretty nicely done. I did just a little bit of refactoring on it because there was a bug associated with the way I was using it, where I was immediately stanching a creature and then coming back and saying, what you got for me? Like this. And it would be like, wait, you would expect to have, it was expecting at least to see something like that. And it wasn't. I didn't have that at the end of the creature name. So I added some defensive code into his code to fix that.
Cool.
You don't sound excited.
No, it's good. I mean, I like the idea of binding this extra information in place. And especially that we can then have that sent across to other instances of TaleSpire. That's going to be pretty useful.
I think so. Okay, so now I've spoken to Lord Ashes via text on Discord, and he says he actually is not entirely convinced that this code that I have here, especially like this one, is going to work on slow machines. He says that so attach effect, let me show you what it does. Attach effect comes in and it calls get asset loader. Get asset loader comes in and tries to find that guy right down there. That's what it tries to find. Lord Ashes is saying when he's watching minis be created, he sees evidence that these are added later.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So right now it's working on my machine, but we, to do, make sure there's an asset loader. Well, I could do this, actually. I could do this. Let's go back in there again. It's like what? It gets get asset loader from the creature board asset. I just need to make sure that's there and my code will work. So what I need to do is do something like this. Asset loader, creature asset, like that. And then I want to say, hey, if not null, now I've just fixed the bug. I've just now made it work for situations on slow machines, I think. So if it's not null, we're there. Otherwise, we're going to, wait, TLD for TaleSpire debug. No, I want TLE maybe. We're going to say asset loader not found yet. So it means we're just going to keep waiting.
Yeah, and you won't have added them to the updated creatures, so by definition, those ones will still be there for the next cycle.
Right, exactly. This is the key that results in them being removed right here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. That's
good.
a nice fix. So that's cool. Because if we have that, then everything else is good. We just need to attach the effect to it. Now, when we use this, here, I'll show it to you. Let's go look at this. What's happening? So when this code executes, basically, I made one other change too. Let's go back, show you the code on this, so I can find it. Create. I think I got it. Here we go. Oh. There. It's this line of code right here.
Okay.
There's a class called ruler helpers.
Ooh.
It's got a method called get pointer position. This is inside TaleSpire. This tells me where the mouse pointer is in the 3D world. Okay? And then I just instantiate the creature there. So if we go back over to TaleSpire and I say, well, let's kind of click up over here. See that right there?
No.
No. Oh, you're right. Why can we not see the mouse? That's not good. The mouse is not visible. Maybe if I come in and say see everything, we'll be able to see it. There, now you can see it. There you go. Okay, cool. So there is, I'm going to click in that space right there. I'm also going to move this up so that when I leave that space.
So your mouse is clearly in 2D space, but we're imagining where it would be if you clicked, where the sort of ray cast out would hit the ground. So visibly, it's underneath. You're looking at a kind of a tile with, I don't know what you call that shape, maybe an octopus or something. But that's the location that you're getting.
Yeah.
And is this now the location that you're going to spawn the new goat at?
I think so. When I click on instantiate, I don't know. Maybe it's going to get the pointer under here. It's either going to be in one of two places. It'll either be here or up there, but I think it's going to be up there. There it is. See it?
Cool.
So we can create like a Stream Deck button that we hit, and it drops the light or whatever the effect is. Now,
Go-to-matic is go.
Yeah. Now we got the goat coming in still. It's endearing. It's growing on me, I tell you. But what I want to do is I want to get rid of the goat, and I want to replace it with something else. That's what I want to do. Let's go in. There's two things I want to do. I want to replace it with a mesh. I need to replace its mesh.
Yes.
Live. So I think it might be as easy as simply just saying find mesh and replace. You know what I mean? Assign something.
Okay. Yeah.
Number two is I need to replace its material. Now I can actually replace its material while we're running using the tool we created, the effects editor. If I come in here and I say explore menu and I grab the goat, oh, check it out. Looks like I have two of these on here. Maybe one's already been dropped and hidden. So I'm going to assume this.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't know which ones because this is sorting them. So one of these is the one we just added. Let's try C0 first. That was it. All right. So C0 is there. I should be able to find my way to the goat right there. Then what do I do? Is it mesh renderer? Material? There you go.
Interesting.
See? So I can grab any material already and just assign a new material to it. We just go through and look at all different materials that are there. Kind of okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Build indicator. Ooh. Ooh. The circle indicator gives me nothing. But
well, close to.
Is there something there?
There's a little light somewhere in the upper right.
You're right. Yeah. But the thing is, I really kind of want something. I really want to put a sphere here is what I want. The problem is when I hit the tab key, I need to be able to see it.
Sure.
Right? If I replace this when I hide this,
you kind of want a material that makes it invisible, which of course wouldn't count when you'd hit the tab key.
Yeah, and when it's flying, if this is invisible, I have nothing to grab. Well, I can grab something, but I have nothing to see that I can grab it. Does that make sense?
Indeed.
So there's some trouble. There's a little bit of trouble here. Is where there is. The flying kind of, because the base disappears on the flying and we don't see the base that we can grab, we need to change this. I don't want it to be a goat. I want it to be at the very least a sphere of some kind.
Could we react? Can we detect the fact that you've gone into this tab mode and add something down at the base, which would be a visual indicator for you to then grab the effectively invisible base and move things around?
That's a great idea. I think we can try that. The first thing I want to try doing is, I want to see if I can just replace its mesh. That's what I want to do. Step one is replace its mesh with the mesh of a sphere. Don't know exactly how to do that, but I'm hoping IntelliSense can help me figure that out. So that's kind of what I want to do. The goat looks cool with somebody else's stuff on it.
Holy burning melted goat, Batman.
I know, it's looking pretty bad, isn't it? We'll kill that. There's one other goat somewhere nearby. Let me hit the tab key. There it is right there. It's on this guy. Right there. Let's delete that one too. So, did I get it? I guess I got it. Yeah. So, back over.
There is another goat in the distance. I don't know if that's one of the same kind. It's not a spontaneous one, is it?
Oh, you're right. It's right. Yes, you're right. It was one of the ones that...
It was inserted in other ways.
Yeah. But the one that was on here was saved from last night or yesterday's session. And so, okay. Let's get over to machine number 1. Let's kind of get our to-do list going up here. But I feel like we're close.
Yeah.
I feel like we're close here. To do. We're going to spend a little bit of time trying to figure out the mesh replacement. It's complicated, and I want to make it easy. So we have mesh replacement. In fact, Rory, if you want to, you can start doing a search for me, or folks in the chat room, do a search for me, or Unity mesh replacement like live, that sort of thing. And all I want to do is I just want to throw a sphere on there for now. I want to basically replace the mesh with a sphere. Replace the goat 1 mesh with the sphere. Then I also want to do material. I want to just find some sort of blank white material, blank material for now. Blank material for now to assign. Those are the two things. That's now there's this issue about persistence.
Yeah.
Right. So what this means is when we create, we need to do those things. Right, that we're talking about, mesh replacement, etc. When we load the board, we also need to do those things. Okay, so I haven't done this yet. So in terms of our to-do, we need to basically, there we go. Let's create a new slide. Whoops, no, not new section. Jeez, really? Okay. Create new slide. All right, new slide. To do, this is for today. So we're going to spend some time, we're going to attempt simple mesh and material replacement. Because it's simple, I think it might work. Rory's got a link for me already. Swapping meshes at runtime. Sweet. So that, thanks, buddy. You may have just saved us right there.
It might have worked. You never know. Wait and see if it works first.
We need to get persistence on the board load, which means we need an event to trigger this, and we need a way to kind of, scan all the characters until they are fully loaded. Because of what Lord Ashes is saying, even if it works on my machine, it may not work on slower machines. So, and then modify them. Modify their meshes, add the material, get their data, and create the effect. By the way, we are going to get into mind-blowing territory soon. Here's where things are going to get a little mind-blowing, and you're going to be like, "What? No! Where's that Stack Overflow entry you got downvoted on, Mark? I'm going to go upvote that now. This is amazing." Maybe that'll happen. I don't know. Get their data and then create the effect, the lighting, the water, the portal, whatever.
Yeah.
The pool of water. Yeah, this is going to be very cool because right now, this is going to blow wide open what you can do in TaleSpire. Because right now, everybody's asking for, like, I want to put a pool of water someplace, and they just can't do it. And this is like such a cool way to do it. Now, what's my UI going to look like? I've figured that out this morning. I know I got another UI slide here, but I'm going to do this here just to show you what it's going to look like. On the left side, I'm going to have a list of known persistent effects.
Okay,
that's showing up on the left side of the screen. Hold on, let's start drawing this out here. There's my TaleSpire screen, something like that. And let's move to send to back. Shape fill, like that. So we're going to have a list of known persistent effects over here. Whoops. When you're in this mode, this will be up.
Okay.
We'll be able to click on one of these, and it'll just create it. It'll create it right there.
Cool.
Or maybe click it and then click over here to drop it. So we'll click and then click. Okay. Over here is going to be our property editor for that effect. Now, here's where we're going to get into mind-blowing sides of things. This is where you're going to be like, what? No, that breaks all the laws of everything known to reality and man and woman and everything. And or you may just be like, okay, that's pretty cool.
And the goats, obviously. Can't leave the goats out.
They can't consider that. So the idea is I go click, and then mess with it over here. And then when I click OK here, there'll be an OK button over here. Actually, this property editor, hold on. Let's bring this all the way over to here. I'm going to instead do this. The property editor will be a kind of a floating window. Send all that to the back. And this property editor is going to have an OK button. And when I click this OK button, it's going to close this window right here. What's going on with this guy? Why can't I say, oh, it's grouped? I see, okay. So let me just do this, group those all together. So when I click on this OK button, it's going to hide the effect it's going to hide the base of what I just created. Okay. And I've clicked OK. Now, if I go into regular mode and I select it, this property editor is going to appear. So this property editor appears whenever it's selected, essentially, unless I click OK on it, at which point it may still be selected, but I'm dropping and hiding it like that. So, okay, now what's going to show up in the property editor? This is where we go into super cool land. What's in the property editor? What's in the property editor? The answer is variables. What's a variable, Mark? Hold on. No, I didn't want that. Jeez, please stop. Yeah, that's a mistake. And then they scroll back up. It totally has consequences. That's totally a mistake. They've got two things close to each other. Add section next to add new slide. If I accidentally hit add section, it's got consequences where I have to delete the section and then scroll up. I'm talking about these two right here. That's a mistake, PowerPoint team. Okay, what's the property editor variables? What's a variable? What's a variable? Well, it's connected to one or more properties in the JSON for the effect of the same type.
Yes, I remember you discussing this before.
Yes.
You're effectively declaring, I mean, as most programmers will be familiar with, a named set of data, which is fundamentally referenced in several places within the object itself.
Right, with essentially a way to intelligently apply that. Intelligent application of the change to that type.
So we think about this. We start with an object, okay, and an object already has properties. Some of them are strings, some of them are numbers, and whatever other kinds of data types we've got, colors and whatnot. But we've also got an overlay of data in our JSON. So we're going to combine the JSON. We're going to start with a default object, and then we're going to apply whatever's in the JSON to the object. So there might be maybe a change of the height in a double scale or what have you. However, before we apply that times 2 scale, we're going to look in the string, because JSON's just string data, right? And we look at it and we go, is there a variable in the value of this property? So it's like difficult to think
color. We might create a variable
so
called
color's
color.
going to have like inherently X amount of red plus 1 or whatever. So it's a calculation we can do. Go and get the value of this red variable from somewhere else, or base red level, and then combine it with the numeric value, and then apply the result to the color.
Yeah, exactly. So what we might do is we might create a new effect, and then we might come in and somewhere find something in here. We've talked about this before. Actually, I was in here. I was just thinking, well, to demo this, I'll just go in and we'll grab the actual effect and modify it. But that's not actually what I want to do, because that's not actually a fair representation. But visually, it shows what's going to happen. So if I come in here to material and I go to tint color and I crank up saturation and change the hue, we're talking about this kind of thing happening, right? But what I want to do is I want to be able to right click this and then say add variable.
Yep.
Or add to existing variable, right? If I run it, because I might have multiple properties that are all impacted by one thing.
That's right.
And then what'll happen is that'll now show up. Only those variables that I've added will show up in the property editor. So it's possible.
So you can take a base color variable and you can apply it to, the ring that sits on the base of the character, and to one of 3 flames that you've decided to put in there, and to the color of, I don't know, some snowflakes, if that happens to be the case. So actually base color might be better represented as character color, right? So when something happens, when they choose to do something which will, I don't know, emphasize that it's their turn, that they are active, perhaps all the colors that are red in the case of your character are emphasized that much more.
Right.
But for somebody else, that would be a different color. But again, the same combination of places. So you get to make a modification, and for it to affect multiple parts of the object.
Yeah.
Really, really useful.
Yep. So that's kind of what we're going to try and do. So we need to be able to add variables. So variables are coming. However, it's also possible to create one that doesn't have any variables. We just simply create something and add it. So over here, we've got this save effect piece here. I think I need another button here that says make persistent or something like that. So we can go in, we can modify something, and then create it as a persistent effect with variables. Does that make sense? Okay. So, and when I save them, I think I'm going to put them in a local file inside where we're running from. That's what I think I'm going to do. Let's do a couple things. Let's modify some code here, and so we can start getting some answers to some questions. One of the things I want to do is when we just in here, when we click that button and call create, I want to find out where I'm running from. What is it? Directory, application current, active. What is it? Application dot. I thought there was like a current application.
I don't know. I was just wondering if you can.
There we go. I'll take it right there. Is it a function or no? Looks like maybe not. Okay, so I'm going to type in. Looks like there's also. Looks like there might be some ambiguity here on application.
One thing I was just thinking might be worth considering is that as of, what is it, Windows Vista, isn't it not more complicated now to write to stuff that's in the executable path? Should we not be considering, I don't know, app data or something like that?
Well, I guess, but the problem is I was thinking I want to make this easy to distribute. So if I'm already writing to the plugin folder,
that's true.
I would like to be able to write and read from there, or at the very least read from there. I just need to read in everybody else's machine, but I need to write on this machine here. So I think we might have to break through that, whatever blocks are there. So I need that. Let's see. We want to try and mess with the mesh. So let's see if we can try and do that right now. Let's see if we can figure that out. You give me a link.
Yeah, there's a link out there. Somebody was using, actually they got it from some documentation. There is something called a mesh filter. And it's a component you can add to your game object. And it has a mesh property which is assignable to. And I think the idea is that when you do that, it sort of hides the original mesh and uses this one.
That's potentially interesting. Let's see if we can make that work. Can you also do a search to see if you can find how to create a spherical mesh programmatically?
Yeah.
I think that's going to not be hard, but I'll work on that piece that you just gave me there. It looks like we probably need to add the mesh filter to it. I have a feeling it's probably not going to have it. Text to initialize. So we get down to here, and we get this. We get this asset. Do I get a game object? I do. I want to get a get component calling mesh filter on it. I want to see if it's got a mesh filter. I'm expecting the answer is going to be no. If not null, we're going to be like, whoa, mesh filter was found. Otherwise, we're going to be like, yeah, no, it wasn't there. Was not found. That's what we're expecting to happen. Did I misspell whoa? What is it? Whoa? Whoa? Oh, wait, it did like that one? Okay, whoa, okay, good. If it's not found, I got to add it. I'm going to need to add it to it. So we're going to go get that game object again. Let's introduce a local for this. Yeah, that'll work. And we're going to come down there and we're say game object dot add component mesh filter like that, and declare no. We're going to just say, I'll come back in and we'll say existing mesh filter like that. Now I'm going to rename this because it doesn't really have the same meaning as it had before. Got a new one. Flava's out there. Flava's here. I get plus 55 range attack now, right? Your Flav creations, you need a colon after that, Fred. I know it's maybe a little too restrictive, but if you put a colon right in there after the word Fred, that'll work. Flava's here. No worries. Yeah, it shouldn't be you saying oops. It should be me. I made it so that it required a colon. Okay, so now we've got the mesh filter. So now we should be able to come in and say, okay, mesh filter equals, and now Rory is coming in with the save again. What you got for me, Rory?
Well, I don't know. This one looks a little complicated. It depends. You're after a dynamic creation of a mesh, the spherical mesh, right?
Yeah.
This guy seems to have quite a lot of calculation of what he's going on, but I'm finding other references to create primitives that can be spheres. But I don't know if that's the sort of thing that can be a mesh or not. I'm not sure I'm understanding the terminology fully.
I have a feeling that if I create a primitive, that is a... yeah, okay, that's good. I have a feeling that if I have a primitive... That's if I create a primitive sphere, my idea was, what is it? Create primitive sphere. Let's go. How do we do that? Do you have a link for that by chance? Create
I think I did have one moment.
Sphere in Unity. Create primitive. Game object dot create primitive. I'm thinking, there we go, that there's a mesh in this guy that we might be able to borrow.
Okay.
Game object sphere, create primitive sphere, and then say that's equal to sphere dot. I probably have to ask for the mesh though. Yeah. So then we're going to say sphere dot get component. And am I asking for the mesh? Will it have it? We'll find out. Oops, not code cleanup. I wanted to. Wait. Why? What's my problem here? Static types cannot be used as type arguments. Okay. So then, does it every? What's going on? Let me start up now. I got to start up Unity to figure out what happens when I drop in a sphere. Does it? What's it got on it built in? Because I'm assuming when I drop a sphere, it's calling GameObject.create primitive.
Yeah, that would be a reasonable assumption, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. I'm opening up an existing project. I think one thing that should be standard is if somebody puts up a splash screen, I should be able to click and drag it. That, I feel like. First, say I got my colon. Save us, Rory.
Yes,
I didn't
you
see
did.
That. Had my eyes up on another screen.
See, I feel like the splash screens are strangely and slightly confusingly put there mainly by people who are doing marketing, and they feel the need to market despite the fact you've already got the product. So and they don't want you dragging their marketing out of the way.
So it's got a mesh filter on it.
Right.
Okay.
That's the thing we were referring to earlier that has a mesh property that you can reassign.
Yeah, so I'm going to go grab the mesh filter. So it should totally have one on it. So maybe all of them are going to have it.
Potentially already got it because a couple of lines earlier.
No, that's for the one on the object we're going to replace.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Sphere mesh filter. Like this. And so my idea is that my mesh filter dot mesh is equal to this dot mesh.
Yeah. That feels good.
And then I don't know what's going to happen with this guy. Is there another parameter here? No. Do I have to like delete this guy? What happens if I delete him? Will this still survive and work? Is there a dot clone? I don't know what's going on. There's no clone, so I know that at least. We'll try this.
You are potentially reaching a point, though, where you're trying to assign to a mesh on a mesh filter that is potentially null, because your log warning is just a warning and will not stop us carrying on and crashing through that.
No. The warning here is if it's not null, we found it. And down here, we create a new one.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
So we got
I had that backwards.
I know. I'm not as stupid as I appear out on Stack Overflow. I just want to say that. All right. So
I am.
Let's rebuild. How we doing? Rebuild all succeeded. I totally want to, if I had more time and I wasn't like so, focused on getting this to work, I would create a build camera that would change. It would kind of be a plug-in to OBS that when I went to build, it would automatically detect it and it would slowly make that progress bar get bigger and bigger and bigger behind me. That's kind of what I want to do on that. Okay, begin. Starting up. So we're going to look at, we're hoping to see some messages, and maybe we'll even see the sphere mesh change. At which point, if that happens, I'll be like, that's awesome. That's rocking it. I do feel like I want to try, if that works, I want to try getting rid of sphere afterwards, because I don't like creating objects and, just doing nothing with them.
Yeah.
I want to kill it, but we'll try it. All right, let's get rid of this guy. Kill. Instantiate. No. What do we have over here? Existing mesh filter was not found. Okay, so we had to create one.
Okay.
And that's the end of our messages right there. Okay, so we need more messaging. Shoot. Really? So we don't know. Well, we're not getting an error, which means this must be valid. And that's all the code that you found does, right?
Yeah.
Q component mesh filter dot mesh. Just see what else is
First time you create a primitive of a given type without a mesh collider or get a mesh of a given primitive type, there's an overhead of a game object being created and destroyed. All meshes are then cached into the class, so if this is a performance concern, you can simply call primitive helper.getPrimitiveMesh. Brackets.
I'm on that.
Your type.
I'm all over that. I like that way better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that's probably what's happening internally, yeah?
Where are you, primitive helper?
Good question.
Install package auto mapper. That doesn't feel right at all.
Oh, hang on. I think let me show you the. I didn't scroll far enough. I'll pop this into the chat again.
Okay.
I think they're actually creating this class for us.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There it is.
Now the thing is, I wonder. Oh, I see. The primitive helper itself is probably using the technique we were talking about, or one very similar that evidently they found works, so worth using anyway. But they're reusing the internal game object, so that if you do it 2 or 3 times, you're not creating lots of game objects, just the one.
And also because they're maybe holding on to it, maybe it might actually work. Who knows? All right, so let's go throw that in here. Let's pop that in here, and let's move it to its own file, and let's start adding the pieces we need. Is that it? And looks like we need one more over here. Is that right? Okay. Oh, shoot.
Did that just take the spell enumeration with it when you moved it to a different file?
Yeah, it did. Because it was inside it. It looks like maybe I might have done something wrong. Is what I think happened.
Careful, did you just remove that from the namespace as well?
Yeah, I'm putting it back in.
So, I mean, I saw that you pasted the class into what I thought was the namespace, then told it to move. Is that a bug?
Yeah, let's mark it just in case. I'm thinking I must have made a mistake but you might be right. It could be a bug. So we're going to just throw this in here just in case. Roll back about 30 seconds. Cassia Freitas is out there. Cassia Freitas, how are you doing? There might be a bug here in CodeRush. Roll back to when I pasted in the class and look carefully at that. I'll actually do it when I get the email too. It looks like it grabbed more than it should have and brought it across, but it could have been because I pasted it incorrectly into the code. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. Let's try again. Let me do this. Let me take it again from here. Hold on. Or it could be that what I pasted in had an extra. I may have done this. No, it looks like it's right. Okay, I copied that. I pasted it in, I thought, right there. And then we'll call that 2. And then we'll do a move type to file. Did not reproduce. So I think there might have been some mistake about what I pasted in. Let's delete this.
I wonder if you didn't capture the final closing brace of the class when you copied, which would have meant it would have considered it all internal. And actually, it meant that you broke the namespace.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. So I have this like that. That's what I think I may have pasted. And then I came in here and I said move type to file. And there's the duplication of the issue right there. Okay, so let's do that. Whoops, let's keep spell location. And, well, maybe what should I do on this? Undo, don't save. Can I undo from here? Not really, it seems. Okay, so we need the namespace back. Okay, so maybe not a bug, it looks like. It looks like I had bad code to start with. What do you think? You want to call that a bug, Rory? Do we want people to look at
I'm inclined to think that we copied badly. Yeah.
Sup, dude, what's going on here? Can you let casters know what we're doing, Rory, while I kind of recreate?
Absolutely. You catch us midway through a project and a half, I think is probably fair to say. We're playing with TaleSpire, which is a three-dimensional environment creation facility on Steam. The good people of Visit Bouncy Rock have created, and this is just it's meant as a facility to create environments in which to do Dungeons and Dragons style games. So you can make castles and caverns and caves, and you can bring minis and creatures and your own players. It's a multiplayer facility, so I can load a copy here and be in the same game as Mark. He can be the dungeon master, and away we go. But that's just the sort of base level of how the product works. We're injecting our own effects and creatures and models and all manner of things, and we're connecting it to an engine that we've been building for some time that originally worked with a 2D overlay on this stream. And the idea is to present Dungeons and Dragons, a group of people playing, but doing so with the most efficient way possible. So normally you're sat around throwing dice, totaling those dice, doing calculations. No. The system at large does that for you, or for us, because this is not a productized kind of thing. This is going to be for a secondary show, Dragon Humpers, which we can get you some details on, wherein essentially you get to watch comedy Dungeons and Dragons, and we didn't want it to slow down. Okay, we wanted it to go as fast as it could at the speed of the people who were playing, making it more entertaining, making it more useful. But then we started listing out characters and what attributes did they have, and what spells did they have, and what equipment can they use, and what are the effects of all of these things. Then along came TaleSpire, and we thought, wow, what a fantastic way to visualize this. And if we can inject more things into it, go a little faster perhaps than those who are making it, we've got walls of fire, we've got spheres of fire, we've got the particular thing we're trying to look at the moment is the idea of positioning additional things inside the level, the environment, using our own tools such that they persist. So we close down TaleSpire, and then next day on, part 2 infers, but everything reloads where it was. And the things that we injected the first time remain in that location. So in order to do this, we've selected this wonderful goat mini here that we're injecting in, and we're going to try and switch out the mesh for the goat, the mesh being the model, the physical structure of it, and possibly accompany that with a change in materials as well. But that will let us to, we've tried the idea of putting clouds that physically surround the draggable thing. I guess the idea is that every one of these things that you can see in front of you has a base. And the base is a draggable element. So once you've got it in the environment, Dungeon Master can grab it and move it around in a really proper fashion. Yeah. And that makes the positioning of this. We can kind of use their own editor as our editor. And that just means we don't have to do a whole bunch of stuff that would otherwise be massively complicated.
Right, like attaching fire right here, like we've just done, coming out of like this little thing that I've just turned into a smokestack almost, right? So you can add life to the board, right? Imagine like little bits of smoke trailing off from parts of the battlefield or something like that. Sparks shooting out of a wall, that sort of thing. Check with Mark on the updated schedule as the show might be on a hiatus. We are on hiatus. We're moving. I'm moving to Valencia, Spain, and so that process is probably going to take a week or so. We're also getting all of the players up to speed with TaleSpire and getting them, familiar with it and using it. Yeah, follow that stream to get notifications. Thanks, Sir Dev, for helping us out on there. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so now we're trying new primitive helper, give primitive mesh. Wouldn't that be sweet if that worked? I'm kind of reluctantly hesitant to have too much hope on this right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We just got I just got this debug log in here. There's not much else I can do on that. I suppose I can do if not null, I can say mesh is assigned.
Yep.
So we got a value, and then we'll see what happens. All right, so I'm going to close down.
So the success here will be, instead of spawning the goat, we will effectively have spawned a sphere.
That's what we're hoping to see. That's exactly what we're hoping to see. All right, closing down TaleSpire on machine number 2, rebuilding on machine number 1. Okay, rebuild succeeded. Starting up TaleSpire on machine number 2. The cool thing about this is that what seemed really hard to reach, like okay, I can imagine. All right, we can stick a pool of water in, right? But being able to create customizable effects and then very quickly access them, drop them and modify them. I feel like, and then be able to continue to edit and maintain them. I feel like we're within reach of that.
Well, you're also if you can do even the most basic of those things, then you can build on it. It's like programming. So you can make a class, brilliant. Now you can add something to a class, and now you can inherit from that again. So now we can start building a library of hierarchically based
effects or
objects and effects that we can put in. So you could build a tree from scratch, you could add the leaves, you could put the snow on top, you could do anything you wanted. It's just a matter of how far you want to go on that detail level, all based on the same principles.
So looks like a big fat no on that sphere, and I do have mesh filters. This filter.mesh is assigned.
Okay.
So unfortunately not what I was hoping for. Let's go in the effects editor, go explore that goat.
We're still looking at code, my friend.
I'm sorry. Anyway, there's the disappointment right there. I want to get that goat. There it is right there with the medium fire. So there's the goat.
Okay, and we've got a mesh filter.
Filter on it. And there's the mesh. Can we select other meshes?
Okay. So this works.
Yeah.
It's just the programmatic setting of that didn't want to.
Wonder if there's anything. These are all things that are on the board now.
Yeah.
Mesh goat 1 instance. It's got to
great for an illusion spell.
Yeah. I could grab quad instance. What's interesting is the one we tried isn't like on the board. A sphere instance. Is sphere
is that the problem? Is it
the one that's created by primitive? But is primitive helper naming it that by chance? No, it doesn't look like it is. Well, maybe it is. In other words, let's see. Component shared game object. Oh, I see what they do. They destroy the object right after they grab the shared mesh. Shared mesh. Interesting. So create primitive mesh. That should really feel like it should work. So that, I actually like this code. This looks like
it's not bad, is it?
Pretty decent code.
It's fairly easy to follow. We're reaching in to say ask for something. If they can't find it in their cache, they're going to call a create method, which uses the game object sensibly and provides us back ideally that mesh, and then that's passed back on out. I'm not sure what the because the create primitive is used by the create primitive mesh.
What's interesting is they're assigning to shared mesh. That may be our trick. I want to try that.
Okay.
Right here, instead of assigning there, assign that. That's what I want to do. Okay, so let's try that. I do like this ball. It's fun. Hey, look who's with us.
Hey, Lassamat.
We, as supposedly higher developed life forms, can't do better than a primitive mesh. Disappointing. Yeah, having a little bit of a disappointing day here. Well, we're fighting through it, though. This is how we get to mental health, people. We just don't ever stop fighting. Okay, now, back over in Land of Code, I'm changing this to shared mesh. Now, I got some hope now. I didn't have hope the last time, I think. I maybe had a little bit, but I guess. But I have hope now. Yeah, last time I had wonder. This time I have hope. So, starting up on machine number 2. There's the 2 machines right there. Somebody followed me. Who's following me? Life hack. Can't lose your mental health if you never got it in the first place. That's exactly right. That's what I say about money, too. All right. Mavericks. Play. What do I want to do? Oh, I want to see who followed and give them a shout out. Who is that out there? Oh, Cassier's Freitas followed. Well, thanks for that. Appreciate that follow. Okay, let's go full screen as we load up. All right, there's the load. Let's hit the instantiate button. No.
Still a goat.
Still a goat. It's weird that I absolutely can do it later. What if...
Yeah.
There's a timing related thing on this. Let's go look at the messages, see if there's any clues in the messages. Existing mesh filter was not found.
So we had to make one.
What if that's my clue? I think that's my clue. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Rory?
I'm not sure. No. I don't. I'm waiting to be educated.
It looks like this. If not null, well, I've already kind of got that right there. Hold on. I'm going to assume that I'm going to get one of those, no matter what. If it's not null, we're going to go on here.
Oh, okay. Same strategy as before. Just don't do anything if you can't find it.
Yeah.
Figure it out later.
Yeah. Mesh filter, because I think what's happening is they're adding it to a list, they're getting the stuff, and after I do my work, they're going like, boom, right over it. That's what I suspect. Yeah. Because it really should have a mesh filter, I think. Right? We've seen it. We go in there and we can see it and modify it. So that's my new theory on it. Okay. So let's read.
There's something more legitimate about the one they're doing. Possibly because it's just supplanting ours, or possibly they're configuring it better. Either way, we should take advantage of it.
Right. Now, if you haven't seen the show before, we're using a special technique we call Force and Ignorance. And we do that because... Disclaimer! Mark doesn't know Jack. Mark doesn't know Jack. That's absolutely correct. Mark does not know Jack, but you know who Mark does know? I know a guy named Rory, and that's why we can't fail. We're too big to fail. We have too many Rorys.
There are days, Mark, where I think you might be better off knowing Jack.
Fine. Cody Gorilla says, TBF, when it comes to hacking TaleSpire, BFAI is your only real option. Brute force
it's done well for us in the past. I mean, everything we've got here has been arrived at pretty much that strategy.
Our good friend Pyrocat's out there. It's really to have votes for Mark to play Pyrocat's fanfare manually. I kind of want to. It's a great fanfare. But is it rude if somebody comes in without and then you just come along and like, oh no, look what I did. I hit the button. Rory.
Wow, look out, dude.
Get out of here. I'll get this guy. I'll get this guy. I'll get this guy. I think I got him that time. I helped you out. I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to use this technique right in the eyes. Oh, you got him first, Pirate Cat. Welcome, Pirate Cat. You got the coolest fanfare. Don't want to deprive us of that. So good. All right. Switching over to TaleSpire. Let's see if this works. Are we placing bets? I'm going to say yes. No! Wait. It never gets the mesh filter.
But it should still be now trying, right? Because the update's just going to keep going.
Yeah, mesh filter.
Oh, and it's still not found.
So how are you showing yourself?
Well, hang on. If you just leave that going and use your tool to pull up the details on it again.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to go figure this out. A little worried about all these messages coming out, but I think it's this one. I don't know. Let's see. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Not the second one. It might be the first goat. Or it may not be that one either. That's this one over here. Oh geez, I've got too many goats. Let's delete. Delete. I think I got another one. Oh, I thought it was on there, but I don't see it. Oh, there's the other one right there. Just delete all the goats for a second. Let's bring it up.
I think there's one more.
Well, I don't care.
Off to the left.
Yeah.
In the distance. There you go, next to the alligator.
Oh, nice job. Delete the goat. All right, one more time.
Okay. No goats that I'm aware of. Not anymore.
Okay, back over here. Instantiate, we're going to double up the messages now. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is right there. Then we're going to look at it. Explore many. Yeah, it hasn't even been changed yet. It doesn't even have the additional data. So, Mr. Goat, why can't I get a mesh filter on you? I see one right here.
Hmm. So we're seeing the message again and again, mesh filter not found in this update cycle. Yeah. So when we say creature asset, and that's the object that we're looking for this mesh filter on.
We're seeing two different things. We're seeing this message, and we're seeing this message.
Right, so I'm talking about the mesh filter not found. So my question is, what exactly are we looking for the mesh filter on? Are we looking at it for it on the wrong part of the hierarchy?
We're looking on the creature asset.gameObject, which I assume is the right one, but maybe it's not. Maybe that game object is not the actual one. Let's see what we've got up here. Creature, game object. Hold on one second. Okay. So game object, let's look and see what its name is. Character clone. Ah, it's up there. It is.
So we're looking for and applying something up there when we really need the one that's actually on Goat 01.
Yeah, we need the asset loader, and then we need to go find its child, go to 01. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Now I'm feeling really good about this. We're about to solve
That
this
sounds good,
puzzle.
doesn't it? Particularly because we have seen the tool successfully alter it when we navigate to exactly the right location. It seems almost entirely like we're doing the right operations, just in the wrong location.
Yeah, I agree with that. Where's my base check? The check to get the base. It's not here. I have... Wait a minute.
You are doing an asset loader, or getting an asset loader there.
Oh, there it is. The
Line
asset
61.
Loader. Perfect. The asset loader is the thing I want. Now what I want to do is I want to say... So what's this game object down here? It's just there and there. Okay, good. So I'm going to say I want to go to my asset loader dot find child, and I'm going to go find goat 01 clone. I think that's what it's called. I'm just looking at it over in TaleSpire. That's it right there. goat underscore 01 clone. So I'm dropping that goat. I'm looking for that. It's a very specific child.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
and having got that, we get its mesh filter. We mess with that, and, well, I'm assuming we're going to get a circle, a sphere.
We don't even have to try it at this point. We just know it's going to work, and
we'll call it done, and that's it, yeah.
Ship it. I'm not even going to
Did everyone enjoy our success?
Okay. If not null, then now we can go in here and do some stuff with the goat clone. Okay?
Yeah.
Otherwise, but if it is, then we're going to say, hey, goat clone not found in this update cycle.
Yeah.
And then here, we're going to say, mesh filter not found in this update cycle. Okay?
Yep.
Is there anything else we're missing from here? Goat clone. I think that's it. Effects to initialize. I need to refactor this into a single method called initialize effect. Like that. Good. Clean up. Nice. Okay, much better. Initialize effect is here. Once we get rid of all these debug messages out here, we'll be able to clean this method up, and it'll be a lot tighter, I think, and easier to read.
Yeah.
Couldn't copy because I've still got I've still got TaleSpire running on the second machine. One more rebuild. Powercat, glad to have you with us. Well, I'd say it's rude, but honestly, I don't mind a little headbang now and then. All right, cool. Thanks, Powercat. Glad you're with us. Starting up on the second machine. That's what those look like. Need some seriously dramatic music. Rory and I are starting a band. I don't know if you can hear Rory. He's like...
good music is good music.
I'm looking forward to my new studio. I think it's going to be good. Different. Lots of different things.
Ooh.
All right. Do we got to go? Do we leave a goat on here? We did. Let's delete the goat.
We may have done that.
Delete the goat. Oh, come on. Oh, wait. There we go. All right. Goat is gone. Instantiate.
Look at that.
That's like the most amazing thing. Do you see that, people?
It's like the Holy Grail.
Do you see it? It's taken us a day to figure that out.
This is the key to the kingdom.
All right. Good. It doesn't seem centered. Let's go
no,
figure
it doesn't. It's not a very centered key, but there you go.
Why is that? Explore Mini. There's our goat right there.
Geniscu 7, where are you? We need your help.
Geniscu 7.
Oh, you've arrived.
You've arrived? Good.
Here, I am.
Yoda, Geniscu 7. Well, I got bad news.
Yeah?
Yeah, my bad news is that the position of that goat is essentially 0, 0, 0. Got e to the -6. Got a bunch of those. In fact, if I come in, let's get it so we can see the goat. There's the goat right there. And I say go to 0, 0, 0, nothing happens. I start moving it around. There, we can do that. Well, we could fix it because we can kind of eyeball it here. Get it in the center. Ooh, I like that. I like that position.
Yeah.
Let's take that, copy that to clipboard, come back over into our dev machine. And what do we got? We got that goat clone. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to say goat clone dot transform dot local position is equal to new vector 3. And we're going to pass in those numbers right there. Okay. Genesee 7 does a test wave. Did that work? I didn't see.
It did.
Good.
Yep.
Magical Rory in the shadows with awesome fanfare. Yeah, we don't play that too much.
I don't know what he's talking
We don't
about.
want to do that too many times in a row. It's just too much Rory. That's what I'm talking about. I can't stop this dancing. And the point. These are the moves, by the way, kids. If you don't know how to dance yet, Mark Miller School of Dance, it's free here live almost every day. You just watch me. You use these moves. You're going to get that dance partner you want out on the dance studio. Just the pointing. That's the secret. That's how I did it.
All the enthusiasm.
See? The pointing. Very important. Couldn't do that without you. Okay, so we've got... Let's go back over to TaleSpire machine. I'm sorry, get a little carried away there. That's kind of my new center goat position, floating. I love it, right? To indicate a placeholder. Now, we haven't done the test yet. The test is when I hit tab, if I can see that.
Yes.
That's it.
Even better.
See, that's what I'm talking about. A nice big sphere that I can grab onto and move while it's hidden. And if I come in and say toggle fly mode, I've now still got something I can grab onto for the effect. That is sweet. And then we come out of it, there's my effect. Nice. Last thing I want to do is change the material on that. Let's go examine some materials. Right? Let's get out of mode here. Whoops, let's go back in, unhide, reveal it.
Hector HSC joining us in the chat room. Hey, Hector.
Hector, welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Yes, you join us in rolling success, really.
Oh, yeah, we're kicking.
We have our placeholder, our nice shiny sphere with our burning effect, and everything working so far exactly as we wanted to.
We're nailing it. We're looking so good. You thought we were, you thought we were misfits of code.
Yeah.
For all these years.
Not today.
Today you get your comeuppance, Hector. Today you find out we were pretty good. All right, so I want to go to, I think is it mesh render material? No. Mesh renderer. There's something in here called, oh wait, no, it is material. Okay. This is the one I want to start looking through to see what's available. Let's hit the tab key, see what looks good on this that we can borrow from the world. Bound line mat. I only see it on one side of it. Whoops. It's kind of cool, but I suppose I could, create my own too, but let's just go through these. Kind of cool. What is
Interesting.
that? That's a fire sheet.
It's kind of partially materialized.
Yeah, it's a fire sheet. Ooh, what's that? M base glow. I love that. That's going to be it.
That works.
Okay, so now I got to figure out how am I assigning materials here based on the name. Got to go figure that out because that was code I figured out a while ago and I have no idea. That's what I want to bring in right there. M-Blaze Glow instance. That is inside what we were looking at over there. This piece right here, this is actually part of a really clever UI that brings up and initially instantiates in this region right here an editor for whatever the type is we have selected. So I've got a material selected and it brings this up. So what we want to look for over in the code is we want to go to effects editor, value editors, edit material. That's what it looks like right there. Pretty simple.
Yep.
Roy says, yep, like, yeah, we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. And change right here, selected as string, TaleSpire material get.
Yeah. So when the editor is effectively committing a change, it's setting its value back to its incoming location. That's the code that executes to get it done, and that's the bit that we're going to steal to put in this bit of code.
Yes. Now, what's my problem here, though? What is it not like? TaleSpire material, TaleSpire.TaleSpire material. Shoot, I've got
2 different material types?
I've got 2 things with the same kind of name.
Yeah.
So I need to... That may be problematic from an API standpoint. So what I need to do is do... Or is it this? Aha. Okay, I need to rename this, I think, to materials. Okay. So that's now done, changed to materials. I want to, can I rename the file? No, I have to do this manually. See Mark thinking so much that his head is smoking. The thing that's crazy is if I, it just kind of, that's kind of what, this is what it looks like on the show, right? Just like that. Okay, I'm going to rename this TaleSpire.materials. So we don't have that collision. I'm doing it right behind Fred's head, but that's the change I'm making. Okay. So materials.get, existing material.
Yep.
Then we're going to go into, I think it's mesh filter. I'll have to double check that in case it's not. Material? It's not. Hold on. Let's go find out where it is. We're going to go.
Would it be .mesh.material?
Ooh. I love that.
Now, that said, we are using shared mesh at the moment, aren't we?
I'm on it. Material. Ah.
It felt like it would work.
How did I get it? Let's go over it. It's in the renderer. It's in the mesh renderer, I think. Yeah. So I have to get the mesh renderer and then get its material. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So we're getting there. We're getting there. That means...
So goat clone.get component mesh renderer?
Yeah. I love you, Code Rush. Thank you. And now I want to basically do this and not null on that. And now we're ready to go. Mesh filter or mesh renderer not found in this cycle. Yep. Is going to be what we're going to say here. And then down here, I'm going to say mesh renderer dot, what? Is that material? There it is.
Yep.
Is equal to the glow. And holy cow, is this going to do it for us, kids? We just discovered the secret passageway to making this whole thing work. Back over on the TaleSpire machine, that's what we're looking to build. We're looking to build something that's like this. It won't be flying when it first comes down. It'll be like that. But we're looking to build that. Let's kill it. All right. And for anybody coming in just at the last minute, Roy, you want to tell them what we're doing? Again.
Yeah, we're trying to inject our own assets and more importantly, our own persisting assets into TaleSpire so that we can arrange things in a particular way, shut things down, start a part 2 maybe on the day later on that afternoon, and to have everything come back as it was. So you've seen us effectively craft this one object. So we brought in a goat, we got rid of the goat mesh, we brought in a spherical mesh, and now we've applied a material to it. Well, we did all of that manually, effectively, in the game live. And so now what we're doing is we're getting that to be the way that this particular object is instanced in the first place. So there won't be a goat this time. You won't have to switch it out. We won't have to change the material. The idea is that it just pops up. It's kind of like a big sort of orb of, I don't know, opportunity, right? And that's where we're going to start from. That's the level will come in fairly blank. This won't be there if I'm correct. And we will conjure it there, but in a single move, a single button press, and there it will be exactly as you saw before.
Yeah. Yes, that's what we're looking for. Loading up right now. Almost done with the load. Is he Rory splaining again?
I was told to.
Rory splaining? Yeah, he's Rory splaining. He is.
Unbelievable.
That's what I'm going to say if this works, by the way. Here we go. Wait, let's do it. Let's test it first. We got to see if it works.
I think there's another logic of let's use the party to completely hide the fact that it may or may not be working.
It almost worked.
It did almost work. It's a very nice pattern match with the party that was going on, or color match.
Yeah, that base material, couldn't find it. I almost feel like if I try it a second time, it'll work. Let's see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. Nope.
Okay. That's a shame.
It does get, its positioning is right. Why is the material able to get the material? I guess we need some messages on that. I thought we were going to be really.
So do we have anything already that might mention that? Guess probably not.
Hold on. Let's look at this. Let's look at get. Try get value.
Okay, so we have got some attempting to load and material found, not found. So maybe we do have log message.
Ooh, it's not found. Good job, Roy. Look at that. So it can't find Embase Glow instance. Is it just Embase Glow? I wonder. Let's go into the effect editor and explore that mini. Either one should work. God, this is so precise. Okay, goat, mesh renderer, material. That's what we want. No, it's not board mat.
No, I think we missed by one. It was there. It was one above that. Embase Glow.
No, I don't think it's the glow. Oh yeah, it is the Embase Glow. What if I get out the word instance? Do you think that's going to do it?
Don't know.
How am I doing it here, though? If we look at that code, let's go look at that code again. Edit material. Selected material name. Yeah, I'm just flat out asking for it.
Yeah. Aren't we? Oh no, sorry. I was going to say, aren't we repeatedly asking to find it? But that's the renderer and the filter, not the actual material itself.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering whether the material is maybe being found, but just later in the sequence, so it doesn't exist when the thing was created. But that would also be defeated by the second instance you tried to create earlier.
Look at this.
Which, if it was a bit later,
this was
it would have just worked.
And
That was
changed
pink.
to white.
Okay. That's unexpected.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? What if we create our own material? Can we create a material dynamically just from a color? That's my new question for the internet. Unity. Create material with code from a color.
You can do a set color.
Create a temporary material. Custom shader material inside your script. I need to have a texture and a shader though. All right, here's what I'm gonna, sorry, I was looking at code, is what I was doing. I was looking at code up here and I wasn't showing that to you. Sorry about that, kids. Let's go, I think what I wanna do, I can get rid of this now. I don't need that anymore. I don't need this. I can do a get all call. If the material get call fails, if this get call fails to produce anything, then I can do a get all and see what's going on inside of that. That's my current strategy. Not found, and then what I'm going to do is go into materials. I'm going to call get all. And all materials, and then we're just going to do for each. Material.name.contains. I'm just going to look for the word base glow. Then I'm going to be like, what? We found one. Put that in quotes. Like that. Otherwise, I'm just going to say debug, and we're going to put out material.name.
Okay, that seems fairly comprehensive.
We'll indent those. Indent that. At the end of this whole thing, we're going to send out some dashes here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other suggestions while I'm in here in the code?
No, that's fairly diagnostically complete, I think.
Okay, let's kill. Let's kill. Okay. Kill the app. Rebuild. Okay, starting up. On machine number 2. Starting up here. Fred, what do you think? Okay. How is GoToGeddon coming along, though?
Okay.
Roy's like, I got to go. This better work. I can always tell the subtle. All right, here we go. Instantiate. Okay, well, it's white.
Well, it's white. What do we get?
Material base glow instance not found. What?
And nothing else?
Interesting. The reason we didn't get anything else is because it's not null.
Oh, so failed to get what you asked for, but supplied you with this completely blank thing anyway.
That's not null.
Yeah.
So we get down here, meaning loaded material is null, then we return it. I don't understand this at all.
It's very strange because we did get that pink one a little while back as well. And I kind of assumed that was the equivalent of null, right?
Yeah, well, something. I am wondering if assigning null to this is if there's a property on this that says, you know what, I can't have a null material. I'm going to unnull it. I wonder if this is not sticking, is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
What I want to do instead is I want to introduce a local for this. And this is going to be our base glow. Like that. And then we're going to check against base glow instead. It's about the only thing I can think of right now. All right. I'm on TaleSpire machine. I'm killing it. We're getting close, kids.
Oh, yeah.
This is like often how development seems to work here when we're hacking into TaleSpire. We're like getting close to figuring out the puzzle. Starting up again, I rebuilt on the other machine. Really interested to see what the get all comes back with. Finding that base glow, if it's out there or not.
Yeah.
What's up with the white? Maybe, the white may be coming from assigning null to it. That if you assign null to the material, it will maybe it's that defensive thing we were talking about.
Okay, yeah. So it doesn't allow it to stay null, but it has a default material to use in case you try.
Right. I do like the black color better than the white, though. The black looks kind of a little more, futuristic, obelisk from the future kind of thing for me. Let's try it. Instantiate. Nope, it's pink.
Now pink again.
What are our messages?
Not found and not found. So material and base glow instance.
Then I do a call to get all, and these are all the ones that are now listed.
Okay, so in theory it's not in that list, right? And it doesn't seem to be. That is true.
All right, so that base glow must come up when I do something else, like selected. Is it coming from that? Do I have to select a creature first and for this to work? Let's see what happens now.
All right, so lazy loading of things based on actions taken that include those meshes. Materials.
Don't know where the base glow is coming from. All right, so what we need to do is select one of the ones that are in that first list, because those are more likely to be here. Standard? What's standard going to look like? Let's go in. Let's go bring up the effects editor. Grab the mini. Let's go find standard and assign it. Where's standard? What's it look like? Standard. We could do standard. Standard's one of our choices. I'm now thinking, let's do standard. And just see if we
I'm curious to find out what it is that causes that other material, the base glow, to get loaded into the list of available options. Because obviously it's not there early enough for us to use it there. Or something else hasn't happened. But without knowing that sort of stimulus, it's kind of hard to rig it in our favor and use that.
Right. And yeah, I just don't trust it. Oh, wow, look at that. I can mess with it. Once I assign standard, I can change its color property.
Oh, so standard with a color effect could be very similar to base glow.
Yeah. And it looks like it doesn't affect it everywhere else, because this one's still white like that, I think.
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to look like, we're looking for standard instance. Can I select that? Copy that to the clipboard. Come back over to my code. We're going with this instead. And then I want to say, hey, if not null, then I'm going to say base glow dot shader dot set property. What is it? How do I set properties in my shader? I forget. Got a bunch of gets.
Do you get property and then get the dot value of the property object and set that? So you're not getting a property value, you're getting a property.
Oh, neat idea. Let's try that.
No, that one's an int.
No, there are, as I recall, there are get property type. Get type. Find property. Index. I'm really, this isn't making sense to me. There's no get property here.
Yeah.
There's a, well, hold on, let's do this. Let's go find where I'm calling get property name, and then we'll go hunt down the code, because I've got this code elsewhere.
Oh, you're adding a node.
Yeah, but that's the name right there. Let's look for this guy. Only used there. What about this guy? Oops, sorry, not that one. This one. Active value editor.set, and I'm in which one, but we don't know. No value yet for this. Show material color editor. That's not what I want, I think. Material color property. I think I'm feeling like I'm down the wrong rabbit hole right here. What else is going on with shader.getPropertyName? Is that the only one? Modify color. Modify property. Set value. Here we go. I know this is feeling like a rabbit hole, but I'm try set property. If it's a material set float property name, that's how we do it. That's it.
Right.
Okay. Sorry about that. It's a weird thing that they're doing.
So it's not .shader, it's .material. Firstly.
Right. Yes. So it's going to be...
oh, sorry, we were on the material. Yeah. No, we weren't. Sorry.
It's base glow dot... Wait, what's the material for it? Oh, it is. Base glow is the material.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Set, and then we can set what we want to do on it. We want to, but we need to know the property name as well. Set. Wait, we know the property name. The property name is right there. It's color.
Okay.
I think, or it's emission color. It's one of the two. I think it's emission color. Let's see. Nope, it's not emission color. It's color. There it is. It's color. So that's the property name right there. So when you see these in red, that's all. What we're doing is we're going through and saying, oh, is it a shader? If it is, let's put them in the material right here. So, okay. So
yeah,
the property we want to get or we want to change is color. Like that. And it's going to be set color like that. Properties with the underscore in front of it, like that.
I think so, yeah.
And then here I want to bring in a color. Do I have a front? Oh, I got a black. And we don't need that.
No.
I'm feeling like we might have this.
All that seems good, doesn't it?
I don't know. We'll see.
A lot of things have seemed good.
Yeah.
But we are getting there steadily, piece by piece.
You know, you can tell there's a lot of hacking going on when your debug log messages and your code are about the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, starting up. I'm looking for a black sphere from the future to drop in when we instantiate it. That's going to be so cool. That's step one. And in reality, after we take all these lines of code out, we are, you know, it's not a lot of lines of code. It's actually pretty simple to do what we want to do.
No, it does reduce down quite well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, the burning obsidian sphere.
Yep. That's what we want. My finger's resting on the unbelievable button, ready to hit it. Unbelievable. That's what we're looking for. And then once we get to that, it's so funny because like I could have just lived with the goat, right?
Maybe, yeah.
But after we do that, then we have to make it so it actually persists. And persisting by persisting means when it comes back, instead of being a goat, it's got to be the sphere.
Yes.
And it's got to recreate the effect. Those are the two things that we want to have happen. All right, so here we go. Click down there, instantiate. Sweet.
Look at that.
There it is. And you got to go, I bet, Rory.
I do.
Tell.
This is our last day of the week. So my last day of the week anyway. I will catch you on Tuesday.
All right, we'll see you on Tuesday, Rory.
Excellent.
Okay, my friend. We'll see you then. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye.
It compiles. Let's ship it. Phew, that was close.
We did it, guys. Thanks everybody for hanging out. It's Rory and yeah, Rory's over.
That worked.
That worked. Pirate Cat says bye-bye, Rory. All right, back over to our TaleSpire machine. That's sweet. So we've dropped our effect in, right? We can move the effect around, put it over here, for example, on this space. It's got a nice big sphere that we can grab. We can go grab that even when we're hidden, right? We can see it and move it around. So if we come in here and say hide, so we don't see it. Whoa, oh no, 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 what? Did I hide it or not? It's hidden, but it's not hidden? How did this happen? Oh, setback. Setback, setback. I lost music too. Pop that back in there. So, is it because of the material? It's because of the material. Is that true or not? No, we're creating a standard instance of material. I'm not sure yet. Let's just change it to fire sheet for now. And we'll hide it. Oh, it is hidden. It's hidden now. That's not good. Why? I don't get that. What do I have to do to make it work with hide? I think there's something else that I need to do. Let's try not replacing its material and see if it works with hide. Here. That's my thought. We're going to comment out that code right there. I guess it's really just that line of code there. We don't really need this anymore. And I want to see if this is the problem. Reassigning material kill the hide. Okay. I'm going to kill that creature so it's off the board. And close. Rebuild. So we changed the mesh, and I'm pretty sure changing the mesh was okay. Let's comment that out right there. So we'll comment all of that out. Swirly Devs and his synchronized flying drones here to entertain you. Halftime special. Halftime special always starts right after Rory leaves. Yeah, so my theory is the material is associated with the shader, and the shader is needed for hiding. And I think assigning the material is maybe causing the problem. That's my theory. So when we change up the show, when we do the show, we're going to do it at the same time from Valencia, which means it'll be late at night my time. Like 6 to 8 p.m., around that time. That's currently what we're looking at. Means early dinner for me. Okay. Instantiate. There it is. It's got the goat texture on it. Let's hide it and get out of the mode. Yeah. So changing the material Makes it not work with hide mode. That's what we learned. I wonder if there are other materials that work with hide mode. If we come in and go after this mini again, we play with other materials, are we going to destroy hide mode? Actually, hold on. What if we don't just change the material? What if we instead just get the material and we mess with its color? Can we do that? Maybe not. Yeah, because it... Oh wait, mesh renderer. Yeah, okay. It doesn't have the attached properties for the shader. Love to see its name right here. Ooh, what is the name? Tailweaver Creature Shader. What if we could find that shader and add it to the material that we're creating? Would that be wrong or not? Would that mess with everything else inside TaleSpire or not? Guess we could try it. This is a little crazy what I'm doing here. I'm basically going through every object that I can find, and I'm getting all the known materials that are out there. Okay, I'm going to do something similar with shaders here. Just making some architectural considerations here, trying to figure out what I want to do here with the mixture of shaders and materials inside of materials. I think I'm going to be okay with it. Let's rename this. Get all material names. And then we're going to say, hey, if not all found shaders dot contains key of shader dot name. No, sorry, material dot shader dot name. Then all found shaders like that. That's kind of cool, Surly. I also have an asset that's a basketball hoop that I always intended was going to come in from the side. But, oh, a little like this. Wait, are we going to do it? You need to get your code rush. You need to load up. Okay. There's my refresh. Get all shaders. Get material. I may be refactoring this later, but I kind of really like doing this collection in one spot. So we got to get material. Let's create a get shader like that. I think that's all correct now. Is it true or not? All found shaders. Better. Okay, so there's get shader. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to reinstantiate this code, I think, if I'm recalling correctly. Here's our base load. We assign that material, and then I want to go in and say material.shader equals. Is that going to work? I don't know. Okay, see, we got a build to go on here. Let's shut down on TaleSpire machine. Kill our goat. Kill the instance. Back on machine number 1. Do a build of the solution. All succeeded. All this because I really want a black onyx orb for this. And I need it, but I need it to not, you know, I just don't want it to look like that goat. I'm gonna have to figure, if this doesn't work, we'll maybe move on to a different challenge and give this challenge some thought, the current one some thought in terms of how we're gonna make it still work in hide mode. That's the key. So my hope is that we assign the material and then we get the standard one, then we grab the creature shader. The only thing I'm wondering is if we assign this, is this kind of a global thing right here, or is it only on that instance of the material? Because I really want it to be only on the instance of the material. All right, so here we go. Instantiate, oh, it's okay, it's black, but it's got no effect on it. Which means what? Interesting. Something what we just wrote. So we get to the top of these, see if there's any clues before we start getting in this loop. Wow. All right, fine. Select all copy. Just going to pause it for a second. Get to here, paste. And I guess we're looking for error. Oh, it's just the very top. Oh, it just totally was the top of the file. Okay. Got a null ref exception right after saying mesh filter.shared mesh is assigned. It could be here if material was. Well, it could be. It's in TaleSpire materials refresh. Sorry, just look at the tab. I just noticed the call stack's right there. It's in refresh. So it's something we just added over in materials.refresh. Oh, it's this. We instantiate this, but we don't instantiate the shaders. That's my problem. Okay, that's kind of a basic core problem. So we still don't know if it's working or not. We do know it changed color and it got smooth, which is actually super cool. So if that shader call works, where we reattach the creature shader, we should be able to hide it. Like, wouldn't that be cool if we just kind of fought through all of these problems? Got it working the way we want it to. Got some nice flowers there, courtesy of Surly Dev's synchronized drone squad. Okay, kill. Instantiate. It's kind of not black, but it does hide. Wow. It's not black, but you know what? I can almost go with it. I really want it to be black, though. How nuts am I that I can't give this up? Let's go just look at it, see if we can really force it to go black. Make it black, says PyroCat. I know. Don't give up. That's what I want to do. I'm so much like, oh, come on. We're just fighting and fighting and fighting to make this work. Let's get out here to material. Yeah, its color is black, but it's because we're using the standard one. What if I throw a multiplier up? No, it's not helping at all. Even changing it to white doesn't do anything. Wow. There's not much I can do in here. There's just not much I can do. I think at this point there's not. I'm going to have to figure something else out. I'm going to walk away from the problem, but now what I want to do is deal with persistence on this. So right now there are two components of persistence that we need to fix. Let me just move this above so we can see it. So, two pieces of persistence. One part is when we load the board, we need to do the mesh replacement. Did I have another page on this for persistence where I actually spelled this out? I feel like I did. I'll just write it down right here. When we load the board, we need to do these things. So we need basically mesh replacement, mesh, and material and shader replacement. That needs to happen when we load a new board. And we need to initiate the effect. Those are the two things we need to do. So what I want to do is I want to close down TaleSpire and come back, and I want this guy right there. And if it's hidden, I want it hidden. And if it's revealed, I want it revealed. But I want to see that orb and the fire effect. Because right now what happens is when we come back, we just see a goat. That's what we want to do. So we need to hook the load event of the... we need to hook the load event. I'm going to take just a real quick break. I'll be right back. We'll go after that load event after I get back. All right, I just want to say, Pyrocat, I love that you're saying you can do it out there for this. I'm like, I don't know, man. I know I can do it. I just don't think I can do it live right now because there's something I need to think about on this. Usually when I have problems like this and I stop and I just step away, the answer comes to me. So that's what I'm expecting to happen with this. Okay, so we need an event on the board when the board gets loaded. That's what we need. So let's go look into that first, see what we can find. I've got the ability inside of our Explorer to just say, listen to events. Yeah, I get that. Often my problem solutions come to me when I go walk outside. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Changing things up. Also, taking off your shoes, wearing bare feet and walking around can also inspire you. All right, so I'm going to load up a different board. We're going to go to Battle Castle. And do I have the events clicked? Yeah. I want to see what events we've got. So looking at the events here to see what comes up. We've got line of sight updating happening. Campaign manager unique changes. Did you complete the relocation yet? No, that's happening at the end of the month. At the end of the month, going to Valencia, Spain. In fact, later today, I'm going to be looking at Amazon, making sure new things that we need are all going to be delivered on one day where somebody can pick those up. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. All right, so let's look at these events. I'm going to just copy all of these to the clipboard, turn off listening to events, come over into Notepad, paste them in, and let's start looking through these to see what do we want to really hook into. So at the end of it, we've got on atmosphere data changed. That's this guy right there. On atmosphere data changed. Unrequired sync status change comes in. On camping uniques change. On line of sight updated. We get a lot of line of sight updating. Got some sync status. Board session manager. I think this is what I'm looking for. On state change active. The board is active. That's what I think I want. All right, let's see what we can do with that. So in persistent effects, do we have a constructor in here? There. On state change. Okay, so we're listening now into whenever the board state changes. If obj equals really how am I getting active? Hold on, let's go look at other handlers for this. What am I doing inside of you? I'm just doing a toString on the state. It's got a current state though. I'm going to go with that, or is that just this? That's not an enum. Oh, it's just this. So my take on this is that they're probably descendants of this, and the descendants have toString overrides, and that's where I'm getting the word active from. I guess I could use that here. Yeah, I'm just looking over at the at that right there on state change. So we got the word active showing up there. So all right, if it's equal to active, then we've got a board has become active. That's kind of what I want to be calling, I think. Parquet says, gotta go. Enjoy the rest of the stream, Mark. The solutions present themselves to you. Thank you so much, Parquet. Definitely appreciate that. Have a good rest of your day as well. Okay, board has become active. Well, I guess the first thing I want to do is I want to do maybe a warning out here, because it's got a nice yellow highlight on it that says, hey, board has become active. And at this point, can we get all the minis? Would those be ready or not is the question. TaleSpire.minis.getAll. I think this is the real name that we're looking for there. So what I'm going to do here is when the board becomes active, what we want to do is show what minis are on the board. And so we're just checking to see if we want to verify we get the event, and we want to verify that all the minis that we're expecting to be there, we already see them in this moment, that the event is happening late enough in the load cycle that we have all those minis, because we need, once we get the minis, we then need to check the minis. We need to, I guess, wait till they're all fully instantiated, check them, and actually we can check immediately to see if there are any we need to watch based on their names. That's what we need to do. Okay, rebuild all succeeded. Okay, so at this point we might even have some messages in here. So let's select everything, copy to the clipboard. Go back over here. Paste them in. We're looking for, well, we could just search for a bunch of dashes. Not there. So board has become active, did not seem to get fired. We have to load a new board. So I was kind of totally expecting that to work. Expecting to see something in here. No. The vent is not being fired. Just double check that code. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Board session manager on state change. We also get one for backend socket client. Board session manager. That's the one I'm interested in. It's the name of it. obj.name. Okay. Better. Try that. Okay. Wait, is name a string? It's a string. I don't need a toString on it. Let's rebuild it. Sorry, that's what I'm looking at right there. Rebuild. That succeeded. To help this load a little faster, I'm going to delete these for the next start up, so it's not loading all of these up. Actually, I think I can do it now because it hasn't loaded these yet. Okay. Anything better here? No, I'm still not seeing it right here. Oh, wait, I know. It can't do it because the static constructor is not called. The static constructor is not called yet because nobody's referencing this yet in code. It won't be until, I think if I do it right now and I click on instantiate, that will get it. And now if we go in to load a new board, now we'll see it. I think that's the problem. Nobody's referencing persistent effects. I expect now to see that list if everything else is good. Yeah, board has become active. These are the minis we see now. None. No minis. As I feared. Okay. Is there a refresh need possible in here? Nope, it just simply goes to all creature assets. So there was none at this time. If I come in now and I say load creatures, I think it also calls it, and now we've got them. Right over here, in the load creatures button there. And now we've got them. So the minis aren't created yet. We're gonna have to work around that. Simply not gonna work. We just basically need to now watch for minis as they're created. Okay. How will we know? We kind of have to figure out how are we going to know when the minis are done. Do we have an update? We do have an update in here. We're watching for minis. Maybe we do something like this. We watch for a certain amount of time for minis, like maybe 30 seconds. And when that time is over, we stop watching and stop looking and stop trying to collect. That's maybe what we do. That's strategy 1. Strategy 2, so we're not like calling, give me all minis every single time there's an update coming in. We maybe have a counter or something that every 5 updates or something like that, we're going to go make a call to check to see if there's anything new. I think that's what I want to do. I think we also maybe need a... Let's try something a second over in TaleSpire. I want to see what happens if we modify the name and then save and bring it back. Does it save the name? So we're going to drop a goat right in here. There's our goat. Go into the effect editor. Whoops. Explore mini. Find the goat. There it is right there. Goat. Name. Can I change this to Rich effect? It's not changing it here, but it is changing it there. Close that down. If we bring it back up again, explore menu, find the goat, go down in there, there it is. We can use the name. Well, let's see if it saves it. Let's see if it saves it. If it saves it, we can use the name as like a state flag where we've changed, the goat doesn't exist anymore, we've changed it. So that's what I want to try and do. I want to try and exit now and then come back in and explore. When we come back, it'll be a goat. We know that. And I want to see, will it have the goat's name? Will it have the Code Rush effect name? Or will it not be a goat? Will something be broken? What's the goat's name? Well, it's going to be our state. What's the goat's name? Or maybe Joe the goat. Maybe Go-Go the goat. We can't call him Fred. That name is taken. Fred's like, why not? Okay. Whoa, we didn't load the other board. Oh, because it's the default board. Hold on. Board, go to Battle Castle. Yeah, I think we changed the default board. All right, that's what we want to explore right there, that guy. Effect editor, explore mini, Give me the goat. And it's back to goat. So I think this is going to work, right? We use the name as a state change to indicate we've made it change. If it starts with goat, we know it hasn't been touched yet. But if we affect it and then rename it, we know it's good. And that's how we can check to see if we're good or not. That's what we're looking for on the goats. Okay? So I want to make a slight modification to the code, knowing that now. After here, when we modify it, I want to take the goat clone, right? Yeah, that's it right there. That's this guy that we found, and we're going to rename him. And we're going to say goat clone dot name is equal to, I guess we'll call it code rush effect. I know it's not really code rush. We can call it something else too. I just want to make it something unique here. What am I going to call it? All I can think of is code rush effect. It's kind of a unique way to identify it. So once we change it, it'll be, we can call it the effect orb, like that. To indicate we have added effects and remeshed it. Remeshed the goat. This is where we attach the effect right here, the medium fire effect. That's going to be driven by data. We'll do that at some point in time. Like that. Okay. Where's our update? Okay, so idea was we're going to go for about 30 seconds and just wait for things to come in. And then after 30 seconds, we're going to not worry about that anymore. Here's our update right here. State changed. So we need we need something like board activation time is equal to date time now. Declare that as a field. So board activation time is equal to date time now. I'm going to change this to say if it's not equal to 0, then we're going to do all this. Then down here, I'm going to come down and say, so I'm going to extract this into its own method called initialize effects if necessary. And then down here, I want to say, hey, if, ooh, maybe I shouldn't do date time now. Maybe I should do time.time. That's what I want to do. Change this to a float. Do it the Unity way. Okay. So time.time is in seconds, as I recall. So I want to say, hey, if time.time minus board activation time is less than 30 seconds, Then I want to now go through the minis. I want to do it. I don't want to do it every time we get an update call. I want to do it like every 5 update calls. What's the reading date time now and date time and time.time? Time.time is a float, and it's measured in seconds. That's my understanding, Screech Rat. And date.time, I'm sorry, and datetime.now is the current time in the .NET date time format. Does that make sense? In the date time class. Just going to dock a bunch of stuff here. So get that off the screen. So I'm now thinking I got an activation count ++. I want to declare this as an int, like that. And then I want to say, hey, if activation count is greater than 5, this will be like, you know, every 5 frames, we're going to do a check. So a few times a second. Check for new minis. And I don't have to worry about minis that I'm dropping because I can only drop one of these using the code we've already built. So I don't have to worry about somebody like, you know, copying a mini from one place and pasting it somewhere else. So we're going to check for new minis. If we get down in here, then we're going to go and set it back to 0. Maybe we'll call this frame count or update count, something like that, frame count. And then now we're going to do check for new minis, like this. Let's build that. Here we're going to go into minis dot get all. All minis. And I think I'm going to be like, hey, let's do this. Let's figure out what the length is on this. And let's just say, hey, last mini count. I'm just going to do it with counts. I know it's possible you're thinking to delete one and then add a different one back, and then I could miss it. But I'm going to say that in the first 30 seconds, not so likely, and it's way more likely that a mini will be created within the time and we'll catch it before that sequence of events happens. I just don't think that's likely at all. So we're going to say last mini count, we're going to do that, and we're going to check to see, hey, if the last mini count is equal to currently that, then we're going to just say return. Okay? And then now what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the minis. For each creature board asset in all minis, we want to check to see if mini is an effect passing in creature board asset. Then we want to initialize mini as effect, maybe passing in that, which means we need the code that we're calling down in our update. It's through our update. Actually, we're right up here. It's in initialize effects if necessary, and then inside initialize effect. In here, this is taking a creature ID, but then it gets the creature asset. If we get the creature asset, this code initializes. This code is, I think, similar to initialize mini as effect. That's what I think I want to do with that. What happened? Where am I? Oh, I see. On another screen. Okay, let's extract that method. It needs the creature ID. I want to get rid of that, so we don't need the creature ID. What's attach effect doing with creature ID? Called spell.attach effect, which comes in with creature ID, and I bet it just goes and finds the creature board asset again. I know I don't want to delay the start by any seconds. I don't need this queued effect piece for it. So I'm going to just create an overload for it called attach effect. Oops, not quite where I wanted to do it. Let's go back a bit. I want it here. So I'm passing that creature board asset to it. So we'll do this again, extract method, attach effect. And it's got the creature board asset over here at the end. I'm going to reorder parameters and bring this to the front. Like that. Okay, so now I've got my attach effect. I'm going to make this public. And now come back to here. And take this attach, and now instead of creature ID, I'm going to use creature board asset. Creature asset, rather. So attach effect, creature asset. Okay, so now what do we got? We have effect name. No, there's two of these now, right? Okay, creature board asset. So creature asset comes first. Spell ID is next. Where's my effect name? Oh, wait, hold on. This is the one I want. Effect name is second. Spell ID. Now we don't have a spell ID here, but I could go into creature asset, get to the creature, and then get its, no wait, creature ID I think I can get from right there. Good. .toString on that maybe? Okay. Sorry, that's right behind me. Move that up a bit. Seconds delay start, enlarge time, live time, shrink time, rotation. Good. Is it wrong? Creature board asset. What's wrong with this? That's for attach effect 1, but I want number 2, which takes this. Effect name, oh, spell ID is second. No. It's changing it. As soon as I get from here, I move down, I move right. Tooltip changes. Effect name, maybe I just have the wrong number of parameters. Creature ID. Enlarge time, lifetime, and shrink time. We don't need rotation apparently. We don't need, we just did there. Okay. It took a lot of effort to get to this point right there. Okay. Lifetime, enlarge time, spell ID, effect name, and creature board asset. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so there's attach effect, now taking that in. Now we just have this creature ID piece here, and I'm pretty sure I can get what I need by going with this .creature ID. .toString. And now, if all that's right, then I don't need this. And now we have initialize mini as effect, which now just needs a creature asset. Like that. And now, then we needed to ask the question, is mini an effect? Let's go back down in here a second. Okay. Mark mini as effect. And I know I've got to go, you know what? I'm going to keep this. Am I going to do this? Here's what I'm weighing. I'm weighing whether it makes sense to make this call, those two calls again inside of here. So the advantage is that I've of symmetry, so I can just pass in creature asset here like that instead of goat clone. So I know I'm going to make the same calls again, but this is initialize many as effect. This is happening in, even though it's kind of like extra, I'll get the benefit of symmetry, which will add to readability. And I think that's where I'm going to go. Looks like it came back. Yes, looks like it is. Okay, sorry about that, kids. That breaks a number of things right there. I don't know, Dude Y is now following. Thanks for that follow. I don't know, Dude Y. What do I have? I have these two things here. I was in the process of marking the mini as an effect. That's where I want to be. And I want something like this. There's my goat clone. This, my creature asset, is what I'm going to be passing in. This is going to be, I think, a creature board asset like that. So, and I want symmetry because I want something else that checks to see is the mini an effect? Kind of what I'm looking for here. Something that returns a bool. Is mini an effect? What did I have before up here? Just that? It was up in my update here. Hold on a second. Let's go see if we can find this. All the code we were just adding with the count and all of this. Mini is effect. Is mini an effect? So is mini an effect? So what we need to do is a couple things. We need goat clone to be absolutely true. Like that. But we also need to have additional data on the creature name to be able to say that's true on that. So we've got to come back with creature asset. I think it's creature.name. Dot contains now we got to go to the stats message, the stat messaging, and ask for, let's get creature named in. Do I have stat messaging plugin up? I don't. Let's see if I can get it in my history and bring it up quickly here. So stat messaging is hiding additional data. That's where we're going to store our effect data. It's in the name. It's added after the name. That's not good. That might be okay with the test not loaded. Waiting for code rush to load. There we go. Just kicked in. Set creature name. Is there a get creature name on creature manager? No. No. Okay. So set creature name, I think is going to modify that name. It's going to add this extra bit of data over here to it. Asset get attached data. Is this an extension mentioned? Yes. This is the extension method I wrote, which allows me to get that attached data on it. See if that exists. We return an empty dictionary no matter what. Let's do a has attached to data. Has attached data, and I'm going to add a key to it with a very specific key. So I'm looking for, so the attached data is in the form of a serialized dictionary of string index strings. I'm going to now check to see if, hey, does this, is it non-zero? So down here, we're going to return false. We're not going to create anything. So I just want to see, does it have it or not? If it's greater than 0, I'm going to deserialize it. Let's do declare local on that. We're going to call this the state, like this. And if it's 0, we're going to, if it's null, we're going to get out. Otherwise, we're going to say state dot contains key of, you know, whatever that key is, like that. And this is going to return a false. Oh, sorry, a boolean. And this one's going to return false here. Okay. So there's has attached data. And this is get attached data. Cool. Now we've got these. These are in stat messaging. Let's rebuild this. Hopefully those will all work over in the other one. I think they will. Now over here, we're going to say, hey, if not, creature asset dot has attached data. Got to give it the key. Whatever that key is going to be, we're going to call this, if, do we have one created already? I think it's this. There. That's what it is. So if it doesn't have it, we're going to return false. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to get the asset loader on it. If we find that's not null, we're going to go get this and see if it's got the goat. Is mini an uninitialized effect? Okay. And so if asset loader is null, then we're going to return false. It has no asset loader. Otherwise, we're going to find that goat clone. And if the goat clone is not null, all right, let's declare this as a constant. And we're going to call this stir uninitialized mini name. Is it the mini name or mini mesh name? Mini mesh name is that. So we got this in a couple places in the code. Much better than using the goat. Next, we are going to declare constant for effect orb, calling this initialized. Initialized mini mesh name is effect orb. Okay, that shows up in one place. Mark mini as effect. Really want to say mark mini as initialized effect. Good. And I kind of, yeah, well, I'm going to do it when I attach the effect, I suppose. So I guess I'm okay doing that. So mark mini as initialized effect. Changes it to this. When we load, We're going to call isMini an uninitialized effect. If it is, we're going to initialize it. Is what we're going to do. That's in check for new minis. Gets our count there. I think that's all we have to do. Initialize mini as effect, double check that, make sure it adds the fire. Yeah, attach effect, and then we're right now just adding the fire. I think it might work. All right. Let's see if it does. If not, let's debug it. All right, continuing our path.
Force and ignorance.
Okay, rebuild all succeeded. Starting up TaleSpire on machine number 2. Okay, we've got to go switch over to the other board. So, would be spectacular if it just worked. Whoa! 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 Kids, are you seeing that? Are you seeing that? Excuse me, but did that just work? Huh?
That worked.
That worked. Exactly, that worked. You're right, that worked. I was hitting the party button there. Holy cow. Whoops. Right over there. Looks like I lost my music. No worries, Coding Gorilla. That works. Lost my music? How did that happen? Do I have to refresh my drone game? Start the music now? No? Something else? Did I shut something down by accident? No. I don't know what happened. All right, we're out of music, but that's super cool. That's super cool. We don't have a goat here anymore. We have our effect. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to hide it. We're going to get out of this board. Go back over, I don't know, go to Frost Giant Land. Let's put something in Frost Giant Land. Let's make the tree on fire. Let's do that. So we'll hit instantiate. There it is right there. Put that up in the tree. Or maybe down below it. Can we get, how close can we get? One of the things I've noticed is you can't really, sometimes it won't let you get in too close. And then what we'll do is we'll turn it into flying. Oh, this would be so cool if all this works. We're going to bring it up to right in there. We'll hide it. So now we got a tree that's a little bit on fire. Like that. And by the way, I'm going to add the ability. I'm going to add the ability to move the effect relative to this. So if we want to move it here, move it there, rotate it, I'll add controls for all of that. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's hide it again. So now we've got a tree on fire. Let's go back and see if our fire is remaining in the battle castle with it hidden. That's what we're looking to see, is no sphere, but just the fire. There it is, kids. Look at that. And now go back over to the Frost Giant Land, and we should have a tree on fire. Yes, sweet. That is awesome. All right, let's close down TaleSpire and prove that persistence is actually working. And we'll restart TaleSpire, and we should have fire in both of those places. And holy cow, that was awesome. You know why that's awesome? Because we didn't write any bugs. that we know of. We just wrote the code and it just worked without us making any mistakes. That is awesome. Now, it looks like I've killed no of my access to Coders there. Okay, to the Coders music player. Okay. Okay, here we are here. I don't think there's any goats that have been initiated, but we can go add one over here. Oh, wait, there is one. It's that. That's a goat. Yeah, right there. So that one, which we had held down in position, is now right up there, ready to go. That's so sweet. Okay, let's go open up the other, and yeah, this is likely to work. Battle Castle. Expect to see just the fire. Oh no, yes, there it is, sweet. And let's go to Frost Giant Land. This is so cool. Now we can add all kinds of effects, right? We've gotten past the hard stuff. We just need to be able to add the effects and then add the editors. So we'll do that, I think, guess next week is when we'll do that. Thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out with us today. Let's get a raid going. Good time to end the show. Good time to end. Let's send you over to... Is Source Code doing anything right now? Getting ready? What are you doing over there, Source Code? Looks like Source Code's getting ready. All right, we'll send you over to Source Code. Kids, have a good day, good rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow with Kids Code, working on the best test generator you've ever seen. It's going to blow your mind when we get that finished. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow or next week.